Shinjuku Station is one of the most biggest railway stations in the whole of Tokyo, serving 3 subway, 5 JR, 1 KO, 1 Odakyu, and 1 Seibu line, and also serving 3.5 million passengers daily. Let's take a look at the history of Shinjuku Station and what it is today. Shinjuku opened as a stop on the Nippon Railway's Akban and Shinagawa line on March 1st of 1885. It was still a quiet community at the time, and the station was not heavily trafficked at first. That was until the Chuo line started operations on April 11th, 1889, between Shinjuku and Tachikawa. At first, the line was originally steam-powered, but in response to high ridership, it was electrified in 1910. On March 31st, 1906, Shinjuku Station would be nationalized under the National Railway Law, which was now known as the Japanese National Railways. Shinjuku Station became a member of the new Yamanote Line on October 12, 1909, when the Shinagawa, Tohoku, and some of the Toshima Line was absorbed into the new single line. On May 30th, 1915, the Keio Line was extended towards Shinjuku, with tracks sharing the road of the Koshu-Kato Highway, where they both crossed over the land bridge to terminate on a street station, some 400 meters away. But suddenly, on September 1st, 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake hit the eastern half of Tokyo, but Shinjuku only received minimal damage. The Keio Line terminal station was moved in 1927. On April 1st, 1927, the Odakyu Corporation opened the Odawara Line between Shinjuku and Odawara. The platforms of the station were at the west side of the station. Traffic in the west exit increased, although it didn't compare with it to the east exit. But that happened 2 years after the new generation station building opened in 1925. The opening of the Seibu line commenced on July 1st, 1932, with a full local service between Mitaka and Chiba. The line would later be electrified in 1935. The tracks would later be quadrupled on September 5th, 1933 to allow local and rapid trains to run separately. Things took a turn for the worse in 1945 when World War II struck. Like other places in Tokyo, the station building was burned to the ground, but it didn't take long for it to reopen. Before the end of 1945, the station was operated with a simple wooden shelter with the station name painted on a few wooden slats. Because of the war, the Keio terminus of Shinjuku was moved, but trains would still go across the Koshu-Kato Highway. Sometime in the 1950s, a new generation station building would open, as you can see here in this photo. In 1951, almost all Japanese national railway lines would have modernization's fleet. On March 25th, 1952, the Seibu line came to Shinjuku, and the station opened with 3 platforms and 3 tracks. Originally, it was supposed to be temporary, but it has ever since become permanent. The JR lines would receive its colors in 1957, with the Chuo line being the first. Its current color was now Orange Vermilion No. 1, or Orange Vermilion. On March 15th, 1959, the Marunouchi line was extended 5.8 kilometers, and the terminus station opened at Shinjuku. It would be Shinjuku's first subway line. Shinjuku would remain as the terminus for the Marunouchi line for 1 year until it was extended to Nakano-Sakaue and Shinakano in 1960. 8 months later in November, all-day express service began operations on the Chuo line. On March 17, 1961, it was rebranded as Rapid to reduce confusion with limited express trains. In April 1966, holiday and weekend rapid service commenced, so some trains during the first and last hours of service continued to make all local stops. On July 3, 1967, special rapid service commenced operations on the Chuo line, with fewer stops than regular rapid service. During the early morning hours on August 8, 1967, 2 freight trains crashed outside of Shinjuku Station. One of them was transporting jet fuel, and the other was filled with limestone. Fires erupted from the damaged tank cars, which leaked 72 tons of fuel into the track and surrounding area. The Yamanote line was the second JR line to be colored. At first, it used canary yellow, but now it has transitioned to yellow-green, or some sort of lime color. The Shinjuku riot occurred on October 21st, 1968, which was the incident that took place during the International War Day with a number of groups. Streetcar service was removed around Shinjuku in the 1970s, with their lines being replaced with buses. But for the rest of the 1970s, Shinjuku continued to expand, as well as its bus station, where buses can now rest before starting to work again. The Chuo Sobu Line local would receive canary yellow at the same time. On March 16, 1980, the Toei Shinjuku line would be extended towards Shinjuku. Shinjuku would be a terminal station, but through service began with the Keio New line later on. In 1985, the Yamanote line would celebrate its 60th anniversary. On March 3rd of 1986, after almost 100 years of operation, the Akabane line was absorbed into the newly formed Saikyo line, which currently serves the Tokyo and Saitama prefectures. On April Fools of 1987, just after 81 years of operations, the Japanese National Railways was privatized, and the 16 platforms of the Shinjuku station were now taken over by the East Japan Railway Company, or JR East. On December 1st, 1988, commuter rapid service was introduced to the Chuo line in order to ease congestion. It was done to reduce travel times between Tokyo and Tokyo. As the 1990s rolled in, so did the Narita Express, with service starting on March 19, 1991. The express service to Narita Airport departs from platforms 5 and 6. The journey from Shinjuku to Narita Airport would take around 55 minutes. On April 10, 1993, commuter special rapid service was introduced to the Chuo line to ease congestion and operate faster travel to the city and from the western suburban areas of Tokyo. In 1995, the Marunouchi line suffered a heinous crime, with several passengers being attacked with nerve gas. This incident left 13 dead, 50 injured, and caused 984 cases of temporary vision problems. On December 19, 1997, the Toei Uedo line would be extended towards Shinjuku, but it would operate as a loop between Tojo-mai and then back again. The Shonan Shinjuku line opened for service on December 1st of 2001. The line had no dedicated track, so trains had to run through services with the Utsunomiya and Takasaki lines. In 2004, the Teizo Rapid Transit Authority was privatized, and Tokyo Metro took over the Marunouchi line station at Shinjuku, and station numbering was soon born on the Marunouchi line, and the station would be recognizable with the M08 station symbol. The Odaki would have the same thing in 2014, but with an OH01 symbol. The Seibu would have it as well, but with an SS01 station symbol. JR East would have it in 2016 with JY17 for the Yamanote line, JC5 for the Chuo line rapid service, JB10 for the Sobu line local, JS20 for the Shonan Shinjuku line, and JA11 for the Saikyo line. The Toei Shinjuku and Keio lines would get it too, with the S01 and KO01 symbols. A major expansion of the JR station was also added, adding a 2-story office tower, bus terminal, taxi terminal, and numerous shops and restaurants. In 2020, the east-west free passageway was opened, shortening the time required for pedestrians to pass between the east and west exits by 10 minutes. A major redevelopment of the station and surrounding area began in July 2021, with the aim of improving the pedestrian flow and making it easier, faster to cut through the east and west sides of the station. In 2025, the Yamanote line would celebrate its 100th anniversary ever since it started operations in 1925. Okay guys, that was Shinjuku Station. Which are the mega stations which want me to get into next? maybe you would have some really interesting stories to tell when you were in Tokyo last. I'd like to hear some of your ideas in the comment section below. Anyway guys, I'm Express Stream 66. Thank you for watching.